Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Dan, and this is the Napkin Academy, and I am super excited to present our next Draw Together session. And today we will be joined by Jessica Hagy, who is one of the most interesting people that I know, because Jessica has written a number of books on really, I would say, the power of visual communication, but more than that, it's really on drawing pictures to help clarify lots and lots of ideas. So Jessica, can you hear me okay? Can you say hello?
Hi, I can hear you.
So Jessica, I went online and I pulled up a very quick little biography of you just to be able to put some context around this. And I think that Jessica Hagy is very interesting. And I found this little quote that says, Jessica is probably best known for her Webby award-winning blog, Indexed. Her cartoons regularly appear in the New York Times. Jessica, super quick, could you just tell us a little bit about the genesis of why is it called Indexed? What's the story here?
So in 2006, I was working in advertising, and I had read somewhere that every writer needs a blog. And I was on the poor side of the world, and I stole office supplies, which included index cards, which fit neatly on a little scanner I had. And so I decided to draw everything on index cards. So I called it Indexed and started drawing little charts and graphs and other visual module-y things. And now that is my job.
That is your job. And it's not just your job. You have also written a series of books about it. And Jessica, I was reviewing your book, How to Be Interesting, and it is full of little drawings like this. And the fact is, I would say 90% of your drawings stand alone, and that's kind of the point. That being said, here's a drawing of yours that I love. And it's typical, I would say, classic Jessica Hagy style, where we've got a kind of a Venn diagram creating this picture, and I can sort of circle things as we go.
Yeah, when I was thinking about how to be interesting as a topic, it was sort of what is the one business virtue or virtue anywhere that will really help you the most, and it's being an interesting person and doing all sorts of things. So really started with, well, what am I supposed to do? And it really doesn't matter. Just do something. And there's a billion somethings.
That's true. Jessica, so what you did is you took your ideas about how to draw these simple pictures on index cards and you started writing some books. And these are two of my favorite, How to Be Interesting, we're talking about, and more recently, The Art of War Visualized. So tell us, Jessica, if you would, just a little bit about what prompted you to write a book?
Those two books are very different, but they came from sort of the same place, which was I wanted to figure out some aspect of something. And How to Be Interesting came out of a really short article I wrote, which was titled How to Be Interesting, obviously, interestingly, and people really liked it. And so we put a book proposal together to sort of expand on the idea.
Fantastic.
Then the next one, Art of War, have you ever picked that book up? Just the Sun Tzu regular one?
Oh, absolutely, I have. And since I do a fair amount of work in business strategy, especially if you get kind of the more gray-haired generation of business strategy people, they refer to the Art of War all the time. So I am somewhat familiar with it. But what prompted you to take this very different view of it?
Well, I picked it up and it's written in very short, tiny, almost like Bible verse sentences. Mm-hmm. And it's only about 300 or so small sentences in the entire book. And I saw them as captions, like reverse New Yorker cartoon contest. So instead of having the images, I had the captions. So I decided to put images to them to sort of explain Art of War and make it just more tangible and modern and fun.
And do you feel like you were able to do, I mean, did you learn interesting things from having done that?
I really did. Aspect of anything you do. If you have to do something with 3 steps, you actually strategize which step you take first, as simply as like making a sandwich. And Art of War was really this universal book, and I had thought, oh yeah, that's just sort of a gray hair, like old school book. And it's really, really insightful.
Is there any one thought in particular that you could give us from the Art of War that you just really changed your mind? I mean, about how to even strategize on making a sandwich.
All of it is observe, observe, observe. So the more you see, the better idea you'll have. And it's really about avoiding conflict and avoiding bad situations. And that's 90% of the Art of War. It's diplomacy more than it is war, which I thought was really comforting as well. So it's not like bloodthirsty, like cut the guy's head off sort of stuff. It's like pay attention, make sure everybody has what they need, and life will probably be a lot better than if you just like run at somebody with a spear.
Observe, 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 which is a perfect segue to what we're going to do now, because what we're going to do is we're going to do really active observation. And that's a quote I just made up, because what we're really going to do, Jessica, is we're going to draw pictures of some of the words that you have in your book. And the way we're going to do this, are you ready, Jessica, to play a little bit of draw together?
Sure, let me pull up my Zeitboard.
Okay, the rules are pretty simple. We're going to select a topic. The topic I've already chosen. There are a series of topics that are pulled from Jessica's book, How to Be Interesting. Jessica, as the guest star, will start, and online we're going to start drawing it together, and then you will pass the pen, and you will talk. We will talk as we draw. So Jessica, I have taken 5 quotes from your books, and I've hidden them behind the 5 secret doors. So pick which door would you like to start with?
Door number 3, please.
Door number 3, please. Let's see what quote lies behind door number 3. Well, it's your quote, Jessica, so why don't you read it?
Those interesting people are motivated by things bigger than the status quo.
Ah, what color pen do you want to use, Jessica, this morning?
I think I'm black.
Okay, if you go black, I'll stay with blue then. Okay, so Jessica, here we go. Interesting people are motivated by things bigger than the status quo. How would you draw a picture of that?
I would probably do, I've already drawn 4 lines.
Let's call that 2. Vectors are okay. That'll count as 2 lines. Yep.
Okay, and I'm going to draw a dashy line.
Okay.
To sort of define spaces.
All right, good.
That's 3.
Now, you're a big chart person, aren't you? Your drawings tend to be, this is something I want to point out about your work as opposed to, or in complement to some of the other visual thinking authors that we've had. Your work tends to be very much focused around charts, Venn diagrams and charts. Okay, I love it. I love it because everything becomes we're trying to quantify the unquantifiable. All right.
Yeah. Well, it's qualitative information in quantitative form. And you can take any sentence and put it in a chart. It's just a different sentence diagram.
Oh, that's pretty interesting thought. Okay.
I went full nerd on you right there.
You did. But that's why I like your stuff. All right. So are those your lines? Do you want to do 1 or 2 more lines? Are you ready to go?
No, actually, I'm willing to turn it over to you now, and let's play with the structure.
Okay. So because I'm going to take a slightly different approach. So I'm going to superimpose on your chart some other lines. So I'm going to actually draw 2 circles over here. And this is why drawing together is different than drawing by yourself, because I don't know where you were going and you don't know where I'm going. So I'm going to take those 2 circles and I'm going to say one of them is a person with a propeller on their hat. So I'm starting to divide up the space a little bit. All right, your turn.
Okay, so clearly the propeller hat is a fun sort of a guy. So we're going to label this a fun side, and this is a scared side.
Okay.
So I didn't use all my letters, but close enough.
Fun side, fun versus scared. Okay, I got it.
Happy guy. And if you're more scared than you are fun. Oh, okay. That sad little fall face.
Oh, he's sad. And, okay, so I'm going to make Mr. Propeller Head over here, or Miss Propeller Head. Obviously, this person is not sad. This person is having fun. So I actually do want to write this down because the words here are important. So I'm just going to burn a couple of my letters. This is fun. And this wasn't sad. You said this was scary, right?
Yeah, if you're more scared of things, you're not going to be able to indulge your curiosity and go out and do adventurous things.
Oh, so we're almost putting scared, not the opposite, but scared as a variable of fun. Okay, your turn. This is interesting. All right.
So how do you move this guy over to here?
Good question. Jessica, how do you move our scared person over to our fun person?
I think you would probably have to take away some of the scared stuff and replace it with curiosity. So I'll put a C there. I think that's 3 lines.
That'll work. And can I take over? I'm going to draw for a moment. So curiosity, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, I don't know how this works in the rules of our own little game here, but I'm going to turn the frown upside down. I'm going to put the frown as neutral, and I'm going to put a question mark here. So we've gone from scared to curious. And then we have this thing about the status quo, so the way things are. I'm going to represent the way things are as sitting at the intersection of scared, now curious, and fun as just a plain old box. So let's just call that the way things are.
Yes. Well, this one needs some volume because there's a lot of room to wiggle around in the way things are. And the way
That's
things
true.
are isn't always terrible.
Yeah.
But you can always go up a little bit more, and you can always go out a little bit more.
All right.
That's a really nice straight line. Did you see that?
That's a beautiful line. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Magnificent. But yeah, getting into this like low area is that's where you're in ruts and you're just sitting and you're just waiting for something to happen to you. And it's a very passive space.
Okay. So to be interesting, this is our passive space. So what I'm going to say is, for good or for bad, I'm going to use my lines. I'm going to do some hash marks. And I'm going to say that this passive place, from the purposes of how to be interesting, is largely an uninteresting place.
Interesting people are rather active people. They do all sorts of odd things.
Okay.
And people want to do the odd things.
Put one last closing line on it. Bring it to kind of a crescendo for us. Okay,
so if we have really moved this to curious, then this guy is going to come over here.
So actually that's exactly it. So moving out of the status quo, moving from scared to curious, you're swapping and you're moving out of that passive zone of the status quo. I love it. This is great. I love it. I love doing these drawings. Jessica, this is so cool. Okay, so now do you want to do one more?
Sure.
Okay. What door would you like to pick?
Let's go door number 1 because it looks the closest to the door that's right behind me.
Oh, door number 1. Oh, and Jessica, what does your quote say?
It says, why be interesting? So that you can leave a mark, not a blemish.
I loved it. So you can leave a mark, not a blemish. I think this one lends itself, in my mind, pretty easily to some good drawing. So I'm going to move the Ziteboard to get ourselves a new space on our virtual whiteboard. How are you liking this Ziteboard, by the way, Jessica? Is it fun to draw on?
It is. So I have an iPad that I use to draw sometimes. And for this being an online function, it really kind of snaps to place. Like it gets where your fingers are a lot better than some of the other more swoopy.
Yeah. I like it too. If anybody else online, by the way, just sort of technical point of order, if anybody else is interested in doing this kind of shared whiteboarding with colleagues or with friends or play online Pictionary or something, I will recommend Ziteboard, and it is just Ziteboard. Ziteboard.com is the best online whiteboard that I've been able to find that you can share in real time. So it's cool. So, okay, Jessica, back to what our quote was. You might remember what it was. It was quote number 1, door number 1. Why be interesting? So that you can leave a mark, not a blemish. Your turn to draw.
Okay, so I will veer away from the chart type thing, and I will...
Ooh.
There. So I've got a face. The jawline is a little abrupt, but...
Well, the person is simply wearing a turtleneck. That's all. It looks to me like.
Yes, perfect.
And in fact, just because I don't know why, I'm inspired over here to draw a little turtle right here.
I thought you were drawing like a hickey or something.
Well, you know what? It could be a mark. It is. That's what it is. This is the turtle mark. Is this a blemish or this is a mark? Okay, so this is my turtle, my mark. Okay, those are my 5 lines, by the way. So you're up.
Oh gosh. Okay. So now that we've got this, I was gonna go with what's on you and what your marks are, but now we've got this turtle symbol, which
sorry about that.
No, it's awesome. It's like, okay, does it stand for being like shelled or slow or cautious, or does it mean you're going to live a long time? I'm just thinking, like, what is the metaphor going on here? And anytime anybody gets a neck tattoo, you know they're going to be a little bit nuts. So
they're going to be interesting.
Absolutely. So we've got some crazy hair and the neck tattoo. And they need an eyeball because that's...
I know how to do it. Ooh.
Okay.
No, you finish. I just got excited because an inspiration hit me about how to leave a mark, not a blemish. So let's say that I am the turtle person. That is my mark. That is my mark on the world. And one of my options is I could leave out on the world a beautiful turtle mark. I don't know how beautiful this is, but that's my turtle mark, or the beginnings of my turtle mark. So I'm actually leaving my brand, my tattoo, my mark outside of me. Okay, that's my line, so it's your turn.
Well, first we got to give him a head.
Yeah, I'm struggling with you can't draw a turtle
that's a little tail
without a head. All right.
But the turtle is a really interesting thing because I've only thought about it for 20 seconds now, and it could stand for so many things. It could be like nature or wetlands or conservation or safety and shell type things.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a story that I read a long time ago. It's about this little boy who he stays with his grandparents in the summer, and there's this huge tortoise that's on the beach where he stays. And he and this tortoise hang out all the time, and he wants to know that it's his tortoise. So he carves his name in the corner of the tortoise.
Oh, can you do that on the drawing?
Sure. So I'll put my little initials there.
Okay.
He puts his name on the corner of the tortoise so that he'll know the tortoise when it comes back next summer, and And so for years and years, every summer, this little boy and this tortoise build this relationship. And he grows up and he gets invited to this, like a duke's house or some sort of royalty guy. And he goes in, and in the sitting room, this duke has this table made of a tortoiseshell with a big glass on it, and it's supported by the tortoiseshell. And the boy, who's now an adult, sees his initials on the tortoiseshell. And he knows at that point that the guy he's visiting is bad news, because anybody who would do that to his tortoise is not to be trusted.
You know what, Jessica? I think that this is all going to come together, because remember our point about being interesting, which I'm going to take to also mean in this case to be good, is to leave a mark, not a blemish. So I don't know.
I think it's yours, because I just did I took a long time telling that story.
No, but I love it, because here's the thing. I could leave the mark, oh, this is so perfect, as my beautiful live tortoise that has my mark on it, or I'm going to make a table.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm going to. Oh, all right, it's your turn to draw. What do you think is going to happen?
I think this guy, he sees his turtle.
Yeah.
And he remembers that, oh, that's my turtle. That's what happened.
Oh, man.
What a downer. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, but it's going to be an upper, because here's the thing. Down here, you have two options. I'm going to draw for a little bit. Here's the way I'm taking this, and I'm kind of taking over, I guess, but
I like it.
I would call this a choice. I'm going to draw a line here. I could choose to leave a blemish, my turtle's a table, or I could choose to leave my mark. I don't know, is there something you could add to this? Let's take this back up. Let's go up again. Let's bring it back up to good energy.
Okay. Yeah, I think if that is that sort of, I'm noting this, and the mark isn't always sort of impact or like change the world or anything like that, but it is that ripple effect.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing this little small thing that helps me stay in touch with something important to me, or I'm doing this one small caretaking thing for the tortoise and bringing him lettuce or something like that. And that goes all the way out wherever the tortoise travels, so he can go anywhere in the world and it'll follow him.
I love it.
Even at the end, you've done something good and it did last.
And this is why be interesting, so that you can leave a mark and not a blemish. That's really nice. That's really nice. Jessica, we've got a couple of minutes left. Actually, we've blown by our time, but you know what? We're going to keep rolling, and I'll take it out in editing. I'll take out the extra in post-production. Isn't that like they say? I'll fix it in post-production. I want to do one more drawing, but in this case, we want to do something a little bit different, because we've got Maria, who I was communicating with through the Napkin Academy over the last several days. And Maria has a challenge. Let me turn Maria's microphone on. Maria, I'm turning on your microphone now. Okay, you can hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hi, Maria. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you guys?
All right. So here's the way we've set this up. I volunteered Jessica to help solve one of Maria's real-world challenges. And so, Jessica, to the degree that you're able to do this and willing to do this by live drawing, just as we've been doing, and talking, this is going to be your show for a moment. Maria, why don't you tell Jessica what the challenge is that you have, and Jessica, take it away.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Jessica. What I was interested in was your perspective on social media and the various platforms. As a book author and as a person in the world, there's a lot of choices about platforms. And I've done some exploring, and I've suffered from some burnout because I didn't understand some of the workflow costs, and also some of the personal life bleed that happens in certain platforms. So I would love to just get your perspective on the various platforms, who uses them, which ones you like, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. So I started my site on a Blogspot address, like way back in the early Cretaceous era of the internet. And then I transferred my site over to WordPress, and that was a good decision, because as time changed, Google Reader went away, blogs became smaller, Facebook rose, Tumblr had a moment, Instagram is still really big. Twitter took off, all of that sort of stuff. And the cool thing about WordPress, we're just going to call this WordPress, is that you can put plugins that once you post on WordPress, it posts to Twitter, it posts to Facebook, it posts to Instagram, it posts to anything you want to. You just plug it into the outlet. So you'll save yourself a ton of stress and time if you get that going where it's automated.
Okay.
And then what you said about personal and impersonal, let's say just personal and business.
Yes.
You can do the same thing. You can have 2 sites on Facebook, one that's personal for kid pictures, adventure stories, things you do with your friends and family, and then you can have another Facebook page just for your business. And that's how I do it. I have Indexed lives on its own Facebook world, and then I have my actual Jessica Lives in Real Life Facebook world. And the same thing with WordPress. You can do all of the posting on both sides if you want to do that personally, or if you just want to focus on the business. So your business stuff can be 20% of social media, your personal stuff can be 80%. You can fill that balance out. And once you plug it into WordPress, it makes it so much easier. So you don't have to toggle between pages or platforms or open 17 apps and spend an hour every day sharing one small thing.
Very good. And Jessica, can I ask you one other quick question?
Sure.
Which platform do you like? I mean, in terms of, are you a Twitter fan? Are you Facebook, and why?
So I use both Twitter and Facebook, and I have to say Twitter is good for making internet friends. And it's just because it's so conversational, and you chime in, you say, oh yeah, this, and this, and somebody follows you back, and you just sort of know them over time. Facebook, I have to say, is where the audiences live. So if you have something that you need to disseminate, and it's not about building networks of friendships or networks of client bases or networks within your industry, Facebook will get it out there as fast as possible. And the other thing about Facebook for business is that you can promote your pages. So for like $5, you can reach 10,000 people. And you just can't do that on Twitter.
Right.
So Jessica, can I ask you and this is for all of us that are on Napkin Academy who might be thinking about getting our message out. As a successful author now, how important is social media promotion work on the business side? How important is to you as a way of getting your business word out, your book word out? Do you use it a lot or not so much? Or what do you think, especially for people who might want to be authors themselves?
Yeah, the key thing about having a platform is you kind of need to build one before you get your book out. So you need it in advance. It's always good to have. It's like a savings account. And then once your book comes out, you use it to disseminate all of your things. And then you have to realize that your book is never not out. So you're always out there as a person, as an entity, as an author, as somebody who's helpful and can solve problems for people related to your book, issues with shipping, all sorts of things come up. You would be shocked. So I had one person who was just like, I wish I had a good bookmark for this. I want to write things on bookmarks. And so you know how easy it is to put 4 blank index cards and like one with a note in an envelope and mail it to somebody? And that's what they needed. They needed note cards and placeholders. And that sort of interaction over social media isn't something that you can plan in a media plan. And you can't put an editorial calendar together that says, you know what, when somebody sends me a note, I'm going to reply with something just for them. But being on social media and being attuned to that really helps you make those little lasting connections.
This is so fabulous. We've gone over time. Jessica, do you have another 5 minutes you could spare with us?
Sure.
There's a lot of conversation going on about our turtle, in particular from Hava. And Hava, I'm going to turn on your microphone just for a moment. Actually, a lot of people are chatting about our turtle. Hava, can you hear me okay?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can. So Hava, I'd like you to meet Jessica.
Hi, Jessica.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to our little turtle drawing because Hava, I saw you seem to be quite appropriately concerned about our little turtle. So do you want to what are your thoughts about the turtle?
Well, when you drew him without a head, he probably had it inside himself. And why did he? Maybe he was scared and maybe he needed to have fun. So Jessica just automatically gave him a head and made his head come out. And
you got it. That's it. That's it. That's exactly. Next time we do draw togethers, we're going to have to do them with 3 people because Hava, that is incredible. Yes, that is why the metaphor.
Yeah, the little metaphor just keeps going. I love this little turtle guy now.
I love it. So now, boy, we have all left a mark on the world now as opposed to a blemish, which I guess, Jessica, by definition, makes us all interesting.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, we've got to sign off. I don't even want to. I just want to keep going. But unfortunately, at some point, we have to sign off from these things. So I'll tell you what, we've burned way past our half an hour. But I really appreciate everybody hanging in there. Jessica, thank you so much for sharing your drawings and your insights. And Maria, thank you for sharing with us your challenge. And Hava, thank you for sharing with us your beautiful insight about why we chose turtle. So Jessica, any last comments or thoughts for our folks out in Napkin Academy land?
I just wanted to say thanks for having me on. This has been really fun. And if the people are tuned in with you and drawing, they're going to be fine. They're going to have lots of interesting things to do and think. And
they will be interesting. They will be interesting. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, Jessica, thanks so much. I look forward to seeing everybody. Jessica, thank you one more time. I really appreciate it. And let's keep being interesting. And that turtle, there's a lot going on.
Good little turtle.
Good turtle. All right, everybody. This is Dan signing off from the Napkin Academy. Thanks so much. Bye.